What's good? What's good? We back, everybody. Grown folks business, man. We already got some people in this thing watching it. Okay. Now, but it's your boy Norris, man.
What happened?
Y'all hear it? It's like a bunch of background. It's all right. So we live, guys. It's okay. It's your boy Norris. We here with Grown Folks Business. I got my boy Plug, as y'all know who that is already. And we finally got Empress here. You know what I
I
mean?
know. I'm finally here.
We
My
finally
bad.
got her here, you know. No, that's a good thing, though. I'm glad you're doing your house.
Fashionably late.
It's okay. We never late. Never late. So do you guys, so I'm going to talk about something real quick. You guys know it's April, so it's Autism Awareness Month. And everybody who does know me, I have a son who's on the spectrum. So definitely celebrating this month even more. Yes, sir. So celebrating this month, so I always tell people definitely remember those people who or might be different from you, but understand that we all have our own abilities and superpowers. So just treat those people as normal people and keep it rocking, man. But we are back, man. Grown Folks Business. This is episode 4. Appreciate everybody who's here. We're missing a few people, but you know we're gonna do what we do. Before we get going, man, everybody on here right now got a channel too. So, Plug, you want to shout out your channel so people can know where to go to catch your content? No, you don't want to let them know. So
y'all get if y'all get
you going in and out, boss.
Why aren't you breaking up? Going slow. I don't know. But if y'all get an opportunity, slide on over to Uncle Plug TV and check me out. You enjoy yourself, man. We ain't in here but for some shits and giggles, having a good time, putting out some good content, enjoying life, number positivity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We dropped a good episode too. Y'all need to go catch it. Me and Plug dropped a good one. Real good one. Gotta catch it. And Keish, I know you got a lot of stuff. You put out a lot of words of the day, some wisdom, some scripture.
Yes.
I'm going in and out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta make sure is my Wi-Fi on?
While Plug get his stuff together.
What's happening?
Go ahead, Keish. Go ahead.
Yeah. You can find me on IG. On IG, I am Empress Speaks Keish, and on YouTube, which I haven't had a lot of uploads on my YouTube. I need to listen. I need to get back. I need to get myself together, y'all. But I am on YouTube. On YouTube, I'm Empress Speaks Keish. You could also find me on TikTok. A lot of my videos are on TikTok. And that's Empress Speaks Keish on TikTok as well. Yeah.
Awesome.
But I've been. You could catch my old episodes, also my old podcast episodes. You could catch them on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and those platforms. I need to get back to podcasts. I feel like I'm so behind, Norris. You showing me out. Norris been showing me out, but that's okay.
He been showing his ass.
That's okay.
For real. He been showing his ass. He been doing his thing. I ain't gonna even lie.
But you know what? But for me, it's for a greater purpose right now. You know how I'm a caretaker now, so like I'm caring for my dad. So it's like I'm the parent again. So
you know, hey, this is what we're gonna do, Keish. Just project out, and we'll come back with our second Father's Day edition.
Yes,
we'll come back with our second Father's Day. We did a Father's Day
because we really do. We really do.
Yeah. So just plan for that. So we're gonna start off with the first topic. I don't know if you guys have heard about the good old Marvin Sapp, but we're gonna talk about
my dad.
Marvin Sapp here. See what he been.
My dad a real one.
So we're gonna talk about old Marvin Sapp. Let's see what Marvin Sapp was doing at the church, man.
and they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online.
So there we have it. We have old Marvin Sapp. Never would have made it. You know what I mean? We have old Marvin Sapp there. And you know, we all hear about this a lot in the Black community when it comes to prosperity.
And he ain't gonna make it.
And so I want to hear what you're, especially you, Keith. I want to hear. I know you.
Why you have to point the finger upon me?
Because I know you be in church, like you really be in church. So you go to she go to a different type of church.
That nigga.
Yes, I go to the Bridge, which is a non-denominational church in Silver Spring, Maryland. Shout out to my church. But I have mixed feelings about that. See, I feel like, you know, the Lord said, come as you are. And
what kind of church?
Running the church is like a business. I mean, there's cost to it, yes, but I feel like, you know, you can't pressure people to give. Giving is something that should be done from your heart. You know what I'm saying? When you giving tithes, or when you giving, it's supposed to be given from your heart. And it shouldn't be a force for you to give. When I pay my tithes, or when I give whatever I can. If I only got $5 to give, I'm only giving $5 because that's what I have, and that's what's in my heart to give at that moment. You know what I mean? So these are some hard times out here.
Yeah.
And you like trying to lock down the church to force people to give. Like, I love Marvin Sapp. I love his music, but I think that was a little too far for me. But
good. What about you, Plug? What you thinking? We're gonna have to Plug it. You can hear us, Plug. So while
probably delayed,
Plug's trying to figure out on his end.
How you felt about it?
I tell people all the time, man, this is one of the biggest problems in the Black community. Like, if you go through Black neighborhoods, you'll see 4 or 5 little small churches here and there popped up everywhere. And you always wonder, man, how did that church exist with like 20 members? They've been around for 50, 60, 70 years. And it's a lot of this prosperity preaching. And some people really feel if they just do what the pastor say, because a lot of people worship the man and not the man.
The man, exactly.
So you see it a lot in the Black community when it comes to prosperity preaching. And I gave this story before, but I was like in my mid-20s when I went back to visit my church back home.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can the ones in the back hear me?
Can the
ones in the back hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
I don't think he can hear us.
We can hear you.
I don't know what's going on. I didn't came out like 4 times.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We can hear you.
While he's trying to figure that out. Keep him backstage while he's trying to figure it out. But with that being said, yeah, I grew up in a church that I knew I wasn't going to attend when I got older. Mm-hmm. And when I got older, it was one Sunday where they actually came to church. The pastor was asking for tithes and offering. He wanted people to actually line up.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. I want to say something. God damn it.
Let me finish real quick.
Okay.
So we had to line up, and like one line was for the people that were doing their 10%. The other line was for people just doing the offering. Then the other line was just, whatever you were going to give. And I remember this old lady who felt that she needed to explain to the congregation why she couldn't do her tithing. And I remember telling my dad, I said, I'll never go back. And I haven't went back. And now I watch Pastor James A. McMinnis at Word of God Ministries. And that's who I'm going to stick with, man. That's who I'm going to stick with. But Plug, go ahead while we got you, just in case.
Hey, listen. Marvin ass is crazy. Marvin has lost his ever-loving mind. Jesus said, don't use my tabernacle as a marketplace. Are you crazy? This young man has lost his mind, man. Listen, man, let me tell you something. Tithing is not why everybody look toward the money when it's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody look to God when everything going good. And they say it's the devil
When it's
everything
going wrong.
going bad. They see good, and when going wrong, it's the devil. And then everybody want to look for the money. Why is y'all always trying to put y'all hands in somebody's pocket? That man said before Malcolm X went down, get your hand out my pocket, nigga. Why is you trying to take money out these people's pocket? To do what? It's a building fund.
Mm-hmm.
All that money y'all incur on a regular basis ain't a 501c3.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
What is the church under?
I was just about
y'all
to say
can't get
that.
a loan.
I was just about to say that.
Marvin, you make a lot of money. You can get a loan your damn self, Marvin. You done sold a lot of records. You a platinum recorder. You a platinum recording artist. You a platinum recording artist. You can get the loan yourself, pimping.
Mm-hmm.
See, man, these preachers be pimping up here, man. Pimping in people's pocket. They need to stop, man. That man need to stop. He went viral for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. And
you
know what?
He did the devil's work. He didn't do God's work.
And I think a lot of that is what stopped people. A lot of that is what stopped people from coming to church.
From going to church
And getting to know God.
To church.
From my perspective,
we already living in a materialistic world.
So that's not helping. That's not helping us anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's not helping the cause. You know what I'm saying? And when you go to church, church is meant to be for community. You understand? It's for us, because to be honest, you can't walk in this world alone. Walking in this world alone itself is difficult. So we do need community. Yes, we need community. And church is supposed to be meant for us to be a community, to help us along our walk with Christ. But the preacher does not save you. The people in the church do not save you. You're supposed to have your own relationship with God and be centered with you and him, and I feel like that's one of those, that kind of thing is a lot of reasons why people don't go to church and why people don't want to go to church and why people shun away from God and don't want to have a relationship with God or relationships with people who go to church. It's for stuff like that. The Lord loves a cheerful giver, yes, but he wants you to come as you are, and he wants you to give from your heart what you want to give and what you can give. And nobody in church is supposed to shun you. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you're not going to church to be shunned. You're supposed to go to church to feel welcome. You're supposed to go to church to feel love. You're supposed to go to church, to hear the word of the Lord and to get something out of it. So, yeah. Marvin, that was a little bit too much for me.
You was up there sweating like the old TDJ. Remember when TDJ used to have that tie? You sweating. Sap was wet. Sap back was wet. That boy preached the word that day. But y'all know what's funny? That's actually an old video. It was actually something that he did back in July.
And it just coming back out.
So I wonder, are they setting them up or what's going on here? It came out. Yeah, they said it originally came out in July. So, but now it's viral. So,
yeah, we ain't gonna. Hey, y'all, the Lord gave y'all the spirit of discernment. You should know better when you're in the right and wrong place.
Okay.
But you know, in our community,
back in 2021.
But in our community, you got to understand that a lot of people don't read. A lot of people getting that word from the pulpit, and that's all they getting.
Yeah, they don't do their own. Yeah, they don't really have their own relationship. They don't really dig into the Word of God every day. They just go there to get a little feel for them to feel like they're truly having a relationship with God. Yeah. You know what I mean? For them to feel like they're doing something right. Like, I went to church today, so I'm good for the rest of the week. But it takes more than that. It takes a lot more than that. So,
all right. You got anything else, Plug, before we move on to the next segment?
Plug trying to catch up.
Yeah, he's trying to catch up with us. So we're gonna move on. So you talked about relationship with God, but we're going to talk about something in relationships here. Let's see. Let me go ahead and get this up on the screen for everybody. So
no, not on Marvin.
The other big thing you said, expressing ourselves or talking about things in the moment. How did you word that? I forgot.
Just not harboring or not holding on to those feelings and just letting it out.
Okay. So one of my issues with you is you seem to never have any problems.
I guess we're just saying what's in the book.
Yeah.
But next to not harboring or not holding on to these feelings was Travis, speak up.
Yes. You tend to kind of just everything go with the flow. Nothing ever bothers you. At least you don't say it. And although I feel like we balance each other, right? At times I have felt like you might be secretly holding all these grudges against me because you just never ever have anything negative to say. And I'm like, I know I'm perfect, but not that perfect. No, I'm kidding. But so I feel like this is really pushing Travis to express himself and tell me if I've annoyed him or something.
Yeah. So I don't, if you know me, I don't like conflict.
Yeah.
No,
most of us
any
don't.
type of conflict. I don't know, it just makes my heart hurt, literally, physically. Yeah. So to me, it's just like, is it that serious? Is it that serious to start something now?
But it doesn't mean we're starting something.
So as you can see there, this is a couple. They're discussing some of the things that they want to talk about in their relationship. And the lady is actually complaining about her husband not being confrontational enough. So I would really like to hear a female's perspective on this first before we break it down from a man's perspective.
So I'm not speaking for all females. I only could speak for myself. As for me in my household, I don't feel like I'm confrontational. I like peace. Arguing, literally, like he said, it gives me anxiety. If we let's say we're together and we're in a place where things are not okay and like it's gonna get heated, I revert back. I'm quiet. I get quiet. I have to process my thoughts because I don't want to be, women, we're naturally emotional because then sometimes we really like to act on our emotions instead of sitting down. A lot of us are really thinking about whatever the situation may be, and maybe let's revisit this later. A lot of us, some of us will be blah, 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 ready to shoot the bullet. And we want the man to be like, shoot the bullet with us. A lot of women are like that. I feel like he's just like he said, he seems like he's not a confrontational person. So, and I could feel like she's the spicy one. She looked like she that a spicy one. Like she like fight. That's the balance. She's the heat and he's the, the cold. But my take on that is just like, all of us are not like that. All of us do not like to argue. I don't want a man that's argumentative either. I want that if we get into conflict or we get into a situation where, it's something that we're going to eventually have to talk about. If it's too hot right now, let's both get out the kitchen. Let's cool it down, and to when we could come to a place where we could sit down and, have a good conversation and revisit whatever the issue was. I don't like fighting, and I don't like a man that's argumentative. I don't like having conversations with men, and I feel like the conversation itself, it feels like it's an argument. We going back and forth. I don't even like that. That I just be like, okay, go ahead, you can have it. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I thought it was a very unique video because I never really seen a female almost like be frustrated or upset that she wasn't getting a confrontation back. I never seen that.
For me,
before.
that may be a trauma response. That may be something that may be some trauma that she got. That's something that she used to from, maybe past relationships or something like that. Maybe she's used to men that are aggressive and, men that are like ready with the words to go back and forth. Everybody is not like that. Maybe she needs to calm down and be in one corner and cool herself out before, because he seems like he's not confrontational at all. And that doesn't mean you're a punk because you're not confrontational. It just means you like peace, and maybe there's a way that he processes things, that he wants to sit down and process it before he, come back and express himself. Everything is not meant to be, rah, 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 rah.
Yeah, I feel like too, I think as a man, sometimes I feel like as a man, when you get to a certain place in life, you just don't have the time to do that.
We ain't got the time either, child. Because
But
me,
you know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of men, like, and I only can speak for myself, like, I'll shut down quick. Like, I don't, silence is my superpower. So, like, that's my thing.
But then there are times where we feel like, okay, on the contrary, there are times where we feel like we do have to have a conversation. We do have to talk about certain things. And then when you guys don't say anything, to us, it translates, I'm sorry, as you don't care about
I think you got to sit down, especially as a couple. I think you have to sit down and understand, like, I'm the type of person, I can hear you out. If you want to be right, you can be right. We can agree to disagree. And maybe I'll come back tomorrow or 13 weeks from now and discuss it with you. But at that time, like, I just feel like, I don't know, you can kind of tell too if a person's gonna really want to go back and forth. So it's kind of like, you know what, you can be right, or it's cool.
You can tell when it's gonna get heightened.
Yeah.
When it's me, I don't like confrontation at all. I don't like arguing. Like, it physically gives me anxiety. I'll be like, listen, go ahead. I will be quiet. That's how you know when I'm upset. When I'm vexed, I will just be quiet. When I said nothing, no talk to me. When I talk to you, I'm just going to be quiet and be in my corner until we can come back and have a conversation.
What about you, Plug? I think he's really still delayed. What about you, Plug? Can you hear us? I think Plug's still delayed. Only in YouTube world, man. Only in YouTube world. Can
you hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
I don't know what Plug got going on over there. So, but yeah. So again, it's just I don't know. It's a very unique conversation. I don't think anybody can be.
Men shouldn't be arguing with no woman.
Okay.
Men should be arguing with no woman anyway.
Hey, what should they do? He's
Man.
not. Yeah, he's there. I don't know what's going on his end tonight. I don't know what's going on. We apologize, y'all. But like what Plug was about to say is he doesn't think men should be arguing with women anyway. Can you hear us now?
You hear me now?
Yeah,
I can hear y'all the whole time. I'm having some complications over here. I don't know why.
Okay, go ahead and say.
Yeah.
Go ahead though.
Listen, man shouldn't be arguing with a woman anyway. And that conversation that they was having was dumb, real dumb. I think that in life, man, I don't know if somebody feel like they deserve something or the other person feel like they deserve something. It's more being thankful that that person's in your life, and that you being thankful that that person's in your life. They should be thankful that you in their life, and you shouldn't be. What we need, if we are always conversing about the conversation, about the relationship, and are we really having a relationship, or are we just living a conversation of the relationship? What the hell? I think people are deluded. The delusion is running rampant in all ages and brackets and races and creeds. Like, what the hell is going on? Why is everybody got to have these conversations? You should know this person by now. If you still don't know what the hell going on, because I told you, remember we talked about this, Norris. Ain't nobody been body slammed in the game. Ain't nobody been body slammed in the game, bro. They ain't been body slammed in the game. I don't think you've had enough disaster in relationships that you just can't just have a good time in a normal, everyday relationship. You can't be living these moments that these people got 1 minute and 3 minutes on these damn posts that you think your life is supposed to be this post forever. It's not like that. It's time. If you can be comfortable with someone in silence, you are good in a relationship, because that's most of the time. Because a nigga come home and he done worked his 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day.
Ain't
I'm one
nobody
of the
got time
ones
to be
that
arguing. You tired.
got time to be like, I'm not gonna be fucking fussing with you. I am not. And half the time, sometimes the conversation can be positive and still be like blah 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 blah, sounding like Charlie Brown mama. Don't want to hear that right now. You know, especially in my profession. In my profession, I spend time counseling, talking,
all
chopping it up all
day.
day.
Thank
And the
you.
last thing
Yes, you want to decompress.
You want me to come home and go with the ones and twos with you. like
I said,
you ain't got enough
really
people in your
feel
life
like
that you converse with on a day-to-day basis. You got to bombard me with all.
I feel like that probably is like I said, a trauma response from her, because she probably been used to that fighting, like, you know, being with somebody that's combative. She's probably been used to that in her past, and so she's like, why are you not like this? Like, why are you not combative? Like, why are you not, you know what I mean? That's probably something that she's been used to.
Because I'm still here
in the past. You know? Because
I'm still here. Well, maybe if I did what they did, I'll be gone too. You want me to do what they did?
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking for something? Are you looking for something? Do you want me to come home with the shits? Because I can come home every day with the shits if I want to, but I don't want to give you that.
Yeah.
So you have a problem that I'm not giving you what you used to. What you used to is no longer.
The question should be, why is it a problem that I'm silent? Like, why is that a problem? That should be the question. Like, why is that a problem for you? That you need to question, what is your issue with silence? What's your issue?
I think he 1 foot out the door.
You could tell by the way he looks at the video, right? He looking like
he 1 foot out the door. He about to leave. He about to leave.
Ain't nobody got time for that, man.
I mean, some cats just don't. They really don't know how to respond to maybe Buddy just don't know how to respond to dumb shit. Maybe you keep saying something stupid, and he like, I don't know how to respond to this without hurting your feelings, so I'm gonna just be quiet.
That part too. That could be a possibility. I love, like I said, I can't speak for every woman. A lot of us are not. We're not like that. We're not, we don't want that. We ain't trying to fight. Like, I'm just trying to love, honey. You come home, let's cook, let's relax, let's sit down, watch some TV. I ain't trying to be going back and forth. I ain't got time. That's too much.
Were you ever that woman?
I was in my 20s, in my early 20s. I definitely was. I ain't even gonna hold you. I definitely was. And I could honestly say that it was from past trauma. Like the prior relationship that I had prior to my ex-husband at that time, because I was young when I got married to him, and he was 13 years older than me. But prior to him, the relationship that I had prior to that was very toxic. And that gentleman, like it was just a lot that happened in that relationship that messed me up that I didn't realize until I got into the relationship with my, my kid's dad.
Yeah.
And I hurt him because of my trauma from that last relationship. Yeah. Because I was like, something ain't right. You treat me too nice. You too nice to me. You too good to me. Why are you so kind to me?
What's
like,
toxic?
Yeah, I was like, why are you so nice to me? So I messed up. I fucked up.
Can we look? You look up toxic.
Look up toxic. I messed up because I thought he was being too good to me, and I was like, something ain't right here. Not realizing
he actually like women.
Yeah, not realizing
really
like something
women.
was wrong with me. Why was I thinking something was wrong with him? You know what I mean? Like, but I was younger then, so.
Let's look up toxic. Let's see what. Which definition of toxic do you want though? Did he hear? Which one you want?
He too good to be something wrong. That shit crazy. That shit crazy. I'd be like, girl, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Figuratively, toxic mean harmful, destructive, or negative.
Crazy.
Also,
but I'd be your stuff. They're like, man, this girl got to have some drugs. Got to have some drugs in here somewhere.
Cool. So what? So do y'all agree with that? Do y'all agree? Do y'all think that should have even been a question for her?
Well, I don't want the one where they talk about chemical waste. Because if it has anything relate, because if it has anything to do with a relationship, that shit is false. That's brand new. They put that shit in recent. I ain't never heard of toxic.
That's Chat GPT. That's AI.
I ain't never heard of toxic before this internet age, this recent internet age. Ain't nothing. I don't know about no toxic, man. I don't know what that is.
Appreciate y'all opinion on that. So we're gonna move on. Have y'all
everybody have a moment of that?
What of what?
Everybody have a moment of that.
A moment of what, Plug?
He need to quit her.
Plug is behind. He's behind. I'm gonna have to let him know. So
yeah, we're
gonna move on. I hate that he's having this difficulty tonight. So we're gonna move on while we wait for him to come back. I don't know if you guys heard about the Georgia man who left his kids at McDonald's so that he can do a live interview. So we're gonna look at this reaction real quick and then kind of go from there.
I have so many questions in reference to this.
McDonald's inside of a playground while he attended a job interview nearby. Seeing so many stories about, he was going to an interview. He didn't have anyone to watch his kids, so he left them inside the McDonald's for a little while he went to the interview. You should never leave your kids unattended at any time. I don't care what it is. Always supervise your children. Always. I would have never left my children at a McDonald's by themselves. I don't care if they're 16, 17, 18, no matter what. They would have came with me to the interview, and I would have told them my situation, that I didn't have a babysitter. I'm struggling out here, and I really need this job. So I had to come for this interview, and my children is presented here with me. I would have never left my children unattended at all. And I just hope he gets through this, and hopefully he can get his kids back. And I know that he's probably really struggling, and he needed this job. But he should have never left those kids alone, because there's so many sick individuals that's out here. We all know.
So he has his opinion. I'm kind of like you, Keish. I think it's a lot to this.
Mhm.
I'll let you give your opinion first. I think it's a lot more to this. I think it's
I have
easy.
so many questions. Where was the mom? Number one. Where was the mom? But and then it's like I feel bad about that. Like now me personally, no, I would not leave my kids at a McDonald's or any of that sort. But I could imagine that maybe whatever his situation is, it must be a really terrible, difficult situation to where he felt like he didn't have no choice but to do that. But I would have never done that. Like he said, I do agree. If push come to shove and, I really need this job, they just going to have to come with me and sit in the waiting room area and, and let me go do this interview. But yeah, I would have never left my kids. Number one, I'm scared. People out here is crazy. Somebody could have took your kids. Somebody could have do something to your kids. You know what I mean? Like anything could have happened. And your children's lives are worth more than a job. You know what I mean? But again, I believe that he, is probably not in a good space. And he probably felt like that was, the only thing that he could have done at that time in that moment, which is very sad. So I do feel bad for him. I feel bad and I do have remorse for him because I'm sure there's something more behind that story.
So I just, I want to do some research before I gave my opinion. So in the state of Georgia, because that's where he was, a child aged 9 to 12, depending on their maturity level, can be left alone. They can be left alone. So you got to, let's say I don't know what the genders were. Let's say you had a 10-year-old sister. I think the other child was like 6 and 1. So that 10 and 6-year-old should be pretty together. They should be able to watch that 1-year-old.
Yeah. In the state of Maryland too, I think it's Maryland. I think it's like, it's either between 9 and 13, something like that. Let me look at that too.
Yeah, so that was my thought process, but I think it's easy to do what that guy was doing, kind of giving his opinion after the fact. But like you said, you do have those questions like, where is any woman in his life? Not even just the mom or the children. Like, do you have a mom or grandparent?
Yeah, anybody likes that. Nobody couldn't watch your kids for you for that small little moment, But then again, this goes back to say there's more to that story. He probably does not have a support system or a community that could have helped him, to do that. In the state of Maryland, yes, it's 8 years old.
8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Prince George be toe up. Letting these kids 8 years old.
It said a child must be at least 8 years old to be left unattended at home, and a child under 8 cannot be left in the care of anyone under 13. So they got to be over 13 to take care of a child under 8.
Okay, I guarantee that's probably the same thing for George too. I guarantee you that 10-year-old probably needed to be 13 or older. Okay. But man, I hope this actually turns into a positive form. I hope somebody's watching this and like watching his story and like he's gonna get a job.
And childcare. I hope so.
Yeah, I think he was doing a very honorable thing as a dad. Like he trying to get a job.
Trying to be there, trying to be a dad and be there for his kids and get employment. It's just the decision he made in that moment wasn't a great one.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
I wish he would have met me in that McDonald's. I would have watched the kids for him and played with them in the McDonald's, kept them company until he got back.
Yeah, I wish they would tell us who he went to do the interview with.
Yeah.
Because that'll let you know.
Like stories like that, like a lot of times they portray people, they portray to be so bad, but there's so much that, like we said, there's so much that could be behind that, and I'm always the empathetic person. I'm always looking at, well, maybe he don't have community. Maybe he didn't have nobody that, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, hopefully somebody get him a job, man, for real. Like, especially, man, I don't know how that would even feel. Like, and then I know he's going through it from a social media standpoint now too, because he's
Yeah,
hearing
'cause
everybody.
now everybody know who he is, so everybody gonna be chewing his butt out.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, yeah. 10, 6, and 1.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Mm.
That's a lot. But again, where was their mama? Because you got a 1-year-old, so that's a young baby. So where's the mother? That's the other part.
I wonder how. Did they say how long they were unattended in McDonald's?
I didn't even get to see that part. I didn't know how long they were left unattended, but probably the baby was crying. Probably that 1-year-old was crying, and the poor 10-year-old couldn't contain the situation.
He should have took him to the white side of town. Went to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Somebody Chick-fil-A would have. My pleasure, sir. They would have helped them. They would have watched.
They would have watched the kids. Yeah.
Can't go. Mickey D's the hood now. Mickey D's used to be the spot.
We ain't watching nobody kids. Yeah, it's unfortunate. That's a sad and unfortunate situation. And man, listen, it's hard being a parent, especially like if you're a single parent. And like I said, we got to have conversations about this. But from my own story, I'm a single mom of 3, well now 2, because my oldest he a man now, so he grown. But God put people in my life who weren't even family to me. When I moved here in Maryland, I didn't have no family here. It was just, I made my family here. So it was me and my kids. But, God brought somebody in my life that was a friend to me, a neighbor to me. And he ended up taking very good care of my children. Like he was my Manny, and his name literally is Manny, but he was my man nanny for years. He took care of my kids, and and looking back on it now, like I don't know what I would have done without him at that time, to care for my kids. So
Ken said the government pushes parents to get jobs, yet no resources to help them do so.
That part too.
I think that is true.
That part too.
You know what? That'd be a good side hustle. Create daycares for workplaces.
People going on job workplaces. They used to have that back in the day, though. Like back in the day, then they used to have some jobs that had like daycares and that kind of stuff.
I don't know. Y'all might have it in the hood out there in Maryland.
I ain't grew up out here in Maryland, but so I don't know. But
Wes Moore might be up for it. He might be up for some daycares.
I don't know. It's just they need. I feel like like I said, there's not a lot of resources, and I feel like even more so now. I don't know. I haven't been on that side of the end in a while. I used to get a lot of help when my kids were younger, but now they're older. I don't get that, so I don't even know if they have resources as much anymore as they used to years ago.
You know what they should create? Almost like a Insta daycare, like an Instacart.
Like Instacart.
They should have an Insta daycare. Like literally, I charge you by the hour. You got somewhere important you need to be. Of course, the people need to do background checks
and all that. Yeah. The same process, background checks.
I got to hustle. I got to hustle, man. Yeah, I got to hustle. You know what I mean? Dash daycare. Dash daycare.
Uber daycare. Uber daycare. Uber daycare.
You know what I mean? Watch your kids for you.
Watch your kids for you for an hour or two.
All of them we won't do. We can't bathe them.
Yeah, you can't do none of that. Just the basic. We just watching them, feeding them, and playing some games with them.
They might gotta sit in their diaper, no changing clothes. You know what I mean? But no, I think it is something. We making a joke of, but I think it is something there though. Like you think about it, like everything right now is so instant for people, man. Everybody's getting everything right to the door. Why not create some type of program where, and it could be something ran through like Medicaid, Medicare, where like we'll pay for you to get some supervised hours to go do job interviews.
Yeah. And I swear they used to do that back in the day, but I don't know.
They probably do. Hey, maybe they can open up a daycare at the welfare office. You want or unemployment can get a daycare.
Yep.
You want people to get jobs. See? Yeah. Okay. That was a good one.
Because
That was a good one.
sometimes people are really in, depending on where they are. Like I said, sometimes people don't have community. Sometimes people don't have people that could watch their children for them, and do things like that for them. So you get put really sometimes in a rock and a hard place.
That's true.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'll be praying for him. I hope and pray that it pans out. Because I don't want to feel like he's a bad father.
Yeah. I don't have nothing negative to say about him, man. I feel like he did the best he thought he could do at that time.
At that time, yeah.
Was it the best decision? Probably not. But I
yet.
think somebody will have and see what he was trying to do. So, but you know what? This is probably what he needed. He probably needed a guy just like this. He needed this guy.
Break down to y'all why it's not terrible to be a stepdad. So when you get on this app, you got a bunch of dudes that are telling you don't never want to raise somebody else's kids. You don't never want to be a stepdad. Those kids and that woman will never respect you. And look, you're free to have your opinion. If it's not something you're comfortable with, then don't do it. Do nothing. Who had a stepfather around? Obviously, not everybody's experience is like mine, right? Some people have had bad experiences. Of course they have. But let me explain to you mine. One of the things those men say is that the man, the woman, and the kids will never respect that man. I remember watching my stepdad stand up to my mother for me. So I had some kind of mystery illness. I was in the hospital for like a week. And it was when I was in college and I was like an 8-hour drive away from home. And my mom couldn't make it to be with me. And I told her not to come. It's not that if I pushed it, she would have came. I was really wanting her not to be there. When I'm sick or things going on with me, I don't like anybody. I don't like the fact that I disrupt anybody's life. I really don't like it. So I was in the hospital from Monday till Saturday. And then my mom wanted me to drive back to Virginia Beach where she lived. And then she would take me to another doctor for a second opinion. So I was in the hospital. For those of y'all who've been in the hospital for a long time, it is so draining and exhausting. I hated being in the hospital. So when I got back to Virginia Beach, my mom was freaking out. Let's go to the doctor right now. Let's go to the doctor right now. And I was like, Mom, there's absolutely no way I'm going to the doctor right now. It's Saturday. I will go on Monday. I'm so burnt out from the doctor, Mom. I am not going. And she was just losing her mind. You're going to the doctor. You're going to the hospital. You're going. And she just kept pushing me to go. And then this is when the first time I saw my stepfather put my mother in her place. He raised his voice. And when I say raise his voice, he didn't yell at her, right? But just got stern and was like, leave him alone. He tired of being in the hospital. He said he's going to go on Monday. Leave him alone. And the first time in my life, I saw my mom shut up. And I was like, and people have asked me that I feel weird about a man talking to my mom like that. Absolutely not.
So as you see, this gentleman is talking about that a lot of people, especially on social media, you will hear it a lot. A lot of people, even my boy Anton Daniels that I follow a lot, he called them step crash dummies.
Mm-hmm.
Feels that men should not be stepfathers. What is your thought on this? Did you drop it?
I disagree. I do feel like there are unfortunate situations where, that happens to where like the stepdad gets no respect, that kind of thing. But from my experience, I had an ex who was my children's stepfather since my kids were like little, when I left their dad. And he was in my kids' life for a very long time. Up to this day, my kids still have respect for him. You know what I mean? There are good stepdads that they step up. There are good stepdads out there. There are a lot of men out there that are good stepfathers that, the kids will have respect for. I don't feel like all stepfathers are crash dummies and you shouldn't be a stepdad and this, and no, I don't feel like that. Then we won't have no relationships nowhere because, child, ain't nobody gonna have a relationship then. Whoever got kids, you definitely ain't gonna have no relationship. If you ain't with the parent, you just ain't gonna have no relationship, man or woman, if that be the case.
This is my thought. This is only my thoughts. I feel if a man does not have children,
It's harder,
he
possibly.
should not choose a woman with children first. I feel like he should try his best to try to step in there. So MD said, I have mixed feelings about step parents. Sometimes step parents aren't what they appear to be. Okay.
I mean, it could be, like I said, it could be a mix. It could be a mix. You know, I can't say all step parents are bad, but you might get some step, because I've heard so many stories, and I know some people who have great step parents. Like, to them, that is my mom, that is my dad. You know what I mean? And you can't tell them nothing different. But then I've had some that, you know, they had step parents and their step parents didn't treat them very well, or the whole situation wasn't great. You know what I mean? But that's just like anything in life. There's going to be some good situations. There's going to be some situations that's not going to be good. But that doesn't mean you just zero out everything. Now, I would agree with you as a mother of sons. That wouldn't be my first choice for my son, for him to have, you know, a female with children if he don't have children, because again, that's going to be, you're putting yourself in that could be more a difficult situation for you. You know what I'm saying? Versus you meeting a young lady that doesn't have a child. But if some guys, they love kids. Some guys love kids and they want to have that. You know what I'm saying? They want to have that kind of they want to have that family dynamic, and there's nothing wrong with that either.
But the one thing I would tell, and I'm speaking, you can give the women opinion. I'm speaking from a man's perspective. One of the things I would tell men to do, though, is make sure that you really discover, like, what is their parenting situation like. For example,
that part. What is the whole background?
Yeah, if that mother is not in a good space with the father, that might not be a situation.
Good situation for you either. Yeah, you gotta watch that too.
Yeah,
because don't nobody want baby mama, baby daddy drama. And sometimes you may think that, oh, you know, they pan the other person out, that, oh, this other person is this and this and that, and they may be the problem, not the other parent. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree in that light. To really, it's something that you really need to consider if you're jumping into a relationship with anybody that has children. Now, speaking for me, who got kids, I ain't having no more. And I ain't dealing with nobody who want more. Not doing it. And my kids are big. So I'm not, you know, if you want more kids.
Y'all hear that? She don't want no more.
No, if you want more children, sir, I'm sorry. And for me, I got 3. So if you got 6, 7, or 8, nope, I ain't doing that either.
What is your number? How many would you take? How many can another man have?
Just as much as me, 3.
Okay, so you okay with a blended family of 6? Then?
I'm perfectly fine with a blended family. I don't mind if he has children. His children are old, if they're older and gone. But if you got small picnic that's younger than mine, I take 1, maybe 2 of them. But if it's like 3, 4, 5, I don't even know, because that's something I really have to consider. Do I want to backtrack and go back to taking care of little children when I have big children that are self-sufficient already? And that's something that you have to consider too. Yeah. So it goes all kind of ways, It does.
And from his example, it seemed like he kind of didn't say it, but he kind of said it when he said it was the first time he heard his mom be quiet. So I think whoever his original father was
probably was passive.
Yeah, like didn't really want to deal with it. So he
much.
Just left. Yeah, so he just left. I will say this though, I don't understand. Again, this is for the men. Men, I don't understand these men who ain't in their children's lives.
To me, there's no excuse.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't care if that woman is from Satan herself. Like,
for me, there's no excuse.
You should be in court every day, every week.
And that's the thing. This is the thing that I feel like, and I don't want to call out my brothers, I don't. But a lot of men that I know or that I've met and have those kind of issues, men just don't want to fight for it. It's like they don't want to fight for the kids. They don't want to go to court. They don't want to, you know what I'm saying? But me, I'm going to fight for mine. Like in my mind, these are my kids. Like I'm going to fight for my rights to my kids. But a lot of black men, they don't want to go to court. They don't want to go through the court system. They don't want to, which I do get that. But at the same time, like, these are your children.
Yeah.
So, like, you got to fight for your kids. You have to fight to be a parent. You're just as much as a parent as the mother is a parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a very tough one. And I feel like it's very hard in today's world for people to find people that don't have children too.
Because everybody was out here, you know. Mary was married at one time. We was, you know, everybody had relationships. People out here just making babies, you know, doing what they do. But so it's hard to find a person that don't have no kids. If you do, God bless you. Like that, you know, it's great if you find somebody that don't have kids. But it's very rare to find somebody that, you know, may not have one or so, unless they're, you know. Yeah, it's rare. I was gonna say unless they're younger, but even the younger kids, I don't want to curse, but even the other kids out here doing all kind of stuff, so they making babies too. So I mean, hey, so I can't say you can zero that out. I wouldn't zero that out, you know. But just like you said, going into the situation, just really know what you're going into, and if that's something that you really want to do, you know what I mean.
And to women, make sure you give yourself some time before you introduce your children to men.
That part.
Like, just
I'm in
because
agreement
you're
with that.
in love and you good for the first, I don't care. I feel like it should almost probably be a good year. Like I'm talking about, like
I'm in completely agreement.
Like I would say a good year, and when
Yeah.
I mean like meet them, I mean like they're around them all the time. Like, but it's
Time,
okay.
yeah.
You might run into them. You know what I mean? Like you might go over to the young lady's house, and maybe the son's heading out the house or something to go out. So you might run into the kid, but like when y'all really get serious and you say you about to settle down, y'all need to really like. I think you should.
I am
have a
very.
meeting with the kids. You should have a meeting with the kids.
When it comes to my kids, I'm very protective over my boys. I'm very protective over how my children view me and what they see of me as their mom. My kids don't meet nobody. You gonna meet him long. Like even my ex that me and him were together for 5 years. He didn't really spend time with my kids a good year and a half after we were like together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you ain't coming to my house. You ain't seeing my kids. No, we're not doing none of that. You'll see them on, you know, via pictures and stuff like that. I'll tell you about them, but yeah. So yeah, I think a lot of women need to, I'm in agreement. You know, some of us do need to take time with who we're presenting in front of our children. You know, give yourself some time. And I ain't saying you can't be outside and doing whatever, but
I understand people had mixed feelings about step parents. Or know truly who a person is until you finally spend that time. I mean, even you can get married and not even know who a person is. So I mean, it takes a lot of time to really figure out who. Yeah. So I highly encourage people to just. I feel like that's why you got to have God in your relationship. I think God will answer a lot of those questions for you. He will let you know if that's the right woman, the right man, vice versa. I think God, I think God will give you that discernment to know if that's the right person or not for you and your children.
I agree. I agree with that.
So it's cool, man. I want to first apologize. I don't know what's been going on with YouTube tonight. A lot of technical difficulties. I think Plug said he just threw in the towel. I understand it was going in and out for him. You know, but Plug, he'll be back. Do you have anything you would like to leave the people with, Keish? So I can respect your time and time we hit an hour. So trying to respect everybody's time. Is there anything you would like to leave with the people? Any positive words? Anything?
Anything I like, just lead with love, man. Listen, I'm all about love, and give people grace. We all need to give each other grace, and I feel like in this society now that we have, is like we don't give each other enough grace anymore. It's like everything is just, I don't know, child. It's terrible out here. So just love each other. Let's give each other some grace. Let's not try to choke somebody out for every little thing, because we don't know anybody's story. There's always a lot behind. There's a lot behind these eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all, we all trying to make it in this world. We all trying to find our place. We all, some of us holding on by thick thread, some of us holding on by thin thread, but we all just trying to make it. So, let's just love and just give each other grace. Yeah, that's all I got.
And where can they find you? Where can they find your stuff? Like if they want to hear even of your old Spotify's, all that. Where
can they find my old podcast, Empress Speaks, Fashion, Faith, Love, Life? I'm on Spotify. I'm on Apple Podcasts. You can catch my old episodes there. They're still relevant today because it's all about, stuff that's never changing, stuff about relationships, about love, about God and faith and having a relationship with him. You can also catch my videos on TikTok. Let me look before I start lying to y'all, but I believe on TikTok I'm Empress Speaks Keish on TikTok. No, I'm Keisha Believes. Yeah, I'm Empress Speaks Keish on TikTok. You can find me on TikTok, Empress Speaks Keish. A lot of my videos, my motivational Mondays are there. My scriptures of the day are there as well. Yeah. So that's where you can find me. Instagram, Empress Speaks Keish on Instagram as well.
Are you doing any of your things anymore? I know you used to throw those like socials and stuff, like the little social gatherings. Like,
well, I got a lot I'm trying to do, and honestly, I've been learning this year. I've really been taking some time and trying to move in a different direction and only speak when I feel like God is putting it in my heart to speak. And so that's why you haven't been seeing as much videos. Not saying I was talking out of nothing then, because I'm not saying that, but I'm just really now just trying to do things more in an intentional kind of way. But I do have a lot of stuff going on. I do have my Beeps group, and I'm working on that to turn that into a nonprofit. And the Beeps is a part of my women's ministry. And it stands for Breathe, Empower, Encourage, Pray, and Support. Right now, we have a small group on Facebook, and I have one on WhatsApp. Every day I share some scriptures throughout the week. I share some things to think about, to discuss, and it's basically just a community for women, for us to, come to Christ together, support each other, encourage each other. And I do have some events that's going on this year. Usually in the summertime, I do either a picnic, a women's empowerment picnic. So I'm working on that to get that done this summer. I'm trying to do at least 1 or 2 events this year. So by God's grace, it will come to pass,
Okay. Yeah. And you guys know where you can find me. You can find me at Souls of Thoughts on YouTube. I'm very, very consistent. Been very, very consistent, dropping videos, pretty much having something.
Yes, look, he passed me
every day.
I used to be on my stuff, and I used to be like, Norris, come on. Now he passed me, and now I'm like, man, I need to get back. Like I'm behind.
So we drop it. This Grown Folks Business. This is every other Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We give the African Americans 15-minute grace period, guys. So we might start around 8:15. That's for the African Americans.
That's for the color time. That's for the Black people time.
So the next one will actually be on the 16th. So that'll be on the 16th. Hopefully we can get the full panel. It's actually 6 of us total. So hopefully we can get one with all 6 of us. It'll be epic. Hopefully YouTube doesn't do what it did tonight, just with a lot of the technical difficulties. But yeah, you can find me there at Souls of Thought. Again, it's Autism Awareness Month. That's my message for the month. Make sure you support that. Make sure you do whatever out there. I think there's like an autism autistic
have
run
autism
coming up.
walk and
Yeah,
run.
walk
Yeah.
runs.
So
make
if
sure
you're
you
in
support
different
that.
states, look, check out what's going on this month in your
Mhm.
state for autism. I know I'm in the DMV area. We have a lot of stuff going on out here: autism walks, autism runs, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, make sure
And
you guys
also,
check out support.
yeah, and also in the Black community, understand that we are the most underdiagnosed for autism. They normally give us like developmental delays or kind of like being kind of slow, like special ed type things, special education. Really get your kids diagnosed, get second, third, fourth opinions if you're seeing something as a parent that you feel like the doctors just aren't seeing, because again, it can take some time. If you go watch my last video, I actually did a whole little segment on it, and it talked about the studies. 1 out of every 36 kids in the African American community has autism. So just think about that when you're out and about. And other than that, I'll end every video with God loves you, which is most importantly. I love you. You're beautiful, and we out. Let's go.